All right, guys, David, Express Auto again. Today we're going to be working on a 6L80. This particular transmission came out of a 2015 Chevrolet Tahoe. The transmission came in with a lot of metal in it. We'll show you the pan here, just to give you an idea how much metal it came in with. It's a little metally, a little sparkly. It's got some goobers in it, but that's not why we're here today. That's not what we're going to do today. What we're going to do today is install a Sonnax zip kit. This is something that we've talked about several different times, something that we believe firmly in. I personally really like to use the zip kit. We use these things in every 6L80 that we build, whether it's a daily driving Tahoe like this one or it's a 1,000 horsepower 6L80 build. Doesn't matter, we use this in every one of them. One of the other things that we're going to be using is the Sonnax pressure switch rebuild kit. This is for the Tecum, where the little domes and little plastic pressure switches are. So we're going to start this install with showing you guys how we machine our stator side. We are using a brand new AC Delco bell housing, a brand new AC Delco pump slide, rotor, vanes, rings, spring. Everything about this bell housing and pump setup is brand new AC Delco parts. That's something that we are very, very particular on. There's some aftermarket bell housings you can use. I don't like to use them because I think they're junk, but if you want to use one, by God, have at it. It's your transmission, do whatever the hell you want, don't care. But if it's going to be done in this shop, we're going to use AC Delco parts. So we're going to start with setting up our lathe and machining our stator side and go from there. All right, guys, we've got our stator side of the pump in the lathe. We've already cleaned this thing. We've already removed our pressure regulator valve out of it. It normally goes in this hole over here, our boost valve and all that wonderful fun stuff. We've already dial indicated to make sure that this thing is spinning where it's supposed to. So now we're going to fire it up, find zero, and start machining. If you guys are going to be doing this at your own speed and you guys want to try to machine your pump, buy some safety glasses. These things are important. We don't always wear them, but you need to have them. At least if they're in the shop, you can blame somebody for not using them. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's get to cutting. Set our indicator at zero here. We're going to take a 5/1000 cut for our first cut. Kind of a slow process, but it's all in good fun. And here we go. Set up around this one. We've got set at 351. I typically run them between 300 to 600 depending on how the day is and how much I feel like messing with the machine. The surface finish that it leaves at 351 with the auto feed set real slow is a very, very nice surface area. So we like to run ours a little slower, take our time, make sure that it's everything that we want it to be. First cut, we'll stop the machine and take a look at our finish. Oh, that is beautiful. That right there, that is a thing of beauty. All right, time to take it out of the lathe.
Yes.
All right, guys, now that we've got our body here machined, I like to take the time to use our Homestone on it on the fine side and just Make sure that there's no high spots on the surface of the pump. If you don't have a Homestone and you guys are trying to do this on your own, go buy a damn Homestone. You need one of these things. Very helpful for this process. Very hard to Homestone without a Homestone. Biggest thing we're going for here is the surface finish of the aluminum. We don't want our new pump vanes to dig into anything or catch any little nick or imperfection in the machining that is left from cutting it on the lathe. All right, I think we are ready to assemble a pump. All right, guys, got our stator side put back together here. You can see the difference in the surface area here of the aluminum has changed because of the stone. Got our support back in, new O-ring, new ceiling rings, new O-rings behind the ceiling rings, so on and so forth. We're going to open our Sonnax kit. Part of the Sonnax kit goes inside of here and the rest of it goes over there. So we're gonna start with the part that goes over here though. We don't need any of the rest of this stuff. We'll put that stuff over there. Grab us a small punch and we'll get to rolling here. We're going to start with installing a aluminum ball in that orifice. And we are going to tap the aluminum ball into place. Now we are going to drill a hole through the side of the casting. The drill bit is supplied in the kit. Comes in at a 037. We're just using some generic calipers here. If you guys want to get all technical, we'll get the fancy tools out, and if anybody can do math there, 25 plus 13 is, what was that, 38? Mm-hmm. Yep, so 38, and that one said 37.
Close enough.
By golly, it'll work. Now, this drill bit is little bitty, and there's only really one tool that it goes in, and that's these little bitty hand drill indexes. But trying to drill through a web that's 1/8 of an inch thick, it's kind of a giant pain in the rear. So I put my adapter in my adapter and use my adapter to adapt, and then I drill a hole through it. And there's our tiny hole. Now we're gonna blow the chips out. Nobody likes chips in their valve.
But chips in the dip.
There you go, chips and dip mix. Don't mix chips and valves. Never a good thing. Now we're going to start with our new regulator valve. You guys can see the difference in the two valves here. Definitely an obvious difference. Gonna get our valve dropped into place. You should not have to use a hammer to put your valve in. If you are getting a hammer out at this point, stop, go back, you're doing something wrong. The valve should just fall into place if it's in there correctly. And it's gone.
Yep.
Another way you can see that it's all the way in is the valve is right there in the bore. The valve is completely bottomed out. Now we're going to put our original springs in. These have been cleaned. We're going to put in the boost valve. This one comes with a new valve already inside of it. Way downside of there. Here, let's take it out. We'll take a look at it. Get behind you there. We'll get this valve out here just so you guys can see what we're playing with here. So, new valve, new bushing. Just a little bit of goo on the end of it. Keep it from falling out of there. Now, we're going to install our new valve and bushing. Push it down till the pin will go back in. Just like so. And that is all that is involved in the Sonnax kit and the pump itself. If you guys want to get in depth, you can take a vacuum tester and test each valve and go through a whole bunch of different other testing. But for the primary purpose of installing this kit, this is as far as we're going to go here. We're going to get this bolted to our new bell housing, new rotor slide, all that fun, wonderful stuff. We're going to get it set on our transmission, and then we will be back with you guys with the clean valve body and installation instructions on it. Alrighty guys, we got our pump stabbed in our transmission, and we've moved it out of the way to where we can have as much room here for fun activities as we can. With that being said, we're going to get this valve body tore apart. We're going to get it cleaned up and just inspect everything, make sure that everything's ready to install the Sonnax kit, and we'll be back with you guys here shortly with another video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that fun, wonderful stuff. I know I forgot to mention it earlier in this particular video, but if you could hit the subscribe button, we really appreciate that, and we'll see you guys on the next one.